That night, Bill tossed and turned. He wasn't refreshed when he arrived in the morning. He had forgotten about the meeting until he drove up to the store and saw a spectacle. V-shaped objects, large and small, and of all colors, were flying over the employee parking lot. One at a time, effortlessly, they all returned to the hands of the man he had met the day before. It was a boomerang demonstration. Boomerang was having a great time showing off his talent, and the store staff was applauding him.
Nice work.
Oh, hello. Can't you give one a try? It can't be that hard, right?
Bill, feeling he had nothing to lose, grabbed a bright red boomerang and reared back for a mighty throw. At first, the rang flew majestically, but then tragedy struck. Without warning, it changed course and headed for the customer parking lot. Bill squeezed his eyes shut, bracing for the crash of a window breaking or the blare of a car alarm. But he heard nothing. The rang had landed in an empty parking space and had skidded to a halt without touching a car.
Well, at least I'm lucky I didn't break anything.
I don't think you would have felt as lucky had there been more cars in your customer parking lot.
Very funny.
Normally, this would have bothered Bill, but for some reason, he felt comfortable with this strange fellow.
Bill! Someone threw a boomerang into the customer parking lot.
Yeah, I know. That was me. I guess I should have taken a lesson from your buddy first before I tried to throw one.
My buddy? I thought you knew this guy.
Now they really wondered, who was this guy?
Well, before I injure someone with my boomerang prowess, why don't we go inside and get this meeting started?
All right, then. But if you don't mind, let's have our meeting out here in the fresh air. I'll be able to show you the value of a boomerang better. But before we begin, I'd like to know a little bit more about you and your store. How's business?
Well, we've been trying everything to increase sales. You know, lowering prices, adding new product, offering extended store hours, more advertising, you name it. But we haven't seen any progress at all. It's very confusing.
Well, it seems that you know you have a problem and you have identified at least a few solutions. But there's something missing from what you're telling me. What about your customers? You haven't mentioned them once.
Well, sure we have. We've been lowering prices and advertising more aggressively to bring in as many as possible.
Right, you mentioned that, but what about your customers? Your loyal customers.
Well, sure. Well, we've got lots of great loyal customers.
Great, name one.
Craig, Duncan,
Clark and Heidi.
Dean.
Smitty.
All right then, tell me about Smitty.
Smitty was one of our best customers. He was a world traveler and would bring us ideas for products from all over.
Yeah, he was the best. Him and my dad, they were more than just business associates. They were friends. As a matter of fact, a few years ago, he even invested in our company, kind of like a silent owner, until one day his wife got sick and he needed his money back. Even though it hurt our company, my dad gave him his money back and then some. Anything for a friend.
Do you know what became of this Smitty?
Well, I haven't seen him in a year or so.
Yeah, and you know, there's a lot of our regular customers that I haven't seen in a long time.
You were right. I've been busy focusing on new customers. What's happened to all our loyal customers?
Care to know a little bit about boomerangs?
Well, you did say that it would help increase sales, profits, and simplify our lives.
Yeah, show me the boomerang.
All right, I'll give you a little Boomerang 101. Now, boomerangs are based on two laws of physics. You have your aerodynamic lift and your gyroscopic precession, or spin. But you can get too technical and miss out on the most important goal. Making sure the boomerang comes back.
Kind of like loyal customers. You can get lost in the programs and processes. The most important thing is that they come back.
Right, now there's lots of different kinds of rangs. Why, you have your traditional, and you have your 3-blade, and you have your 4-blade, and you have your left-handed, and you have your right-handed.
Wow, I didn't know there were so many different kinds. Well, I thought they were all the same. What would a lefty boomerang be like?
To let you know a little secret, mate, see, you already know. See, you threw a lefty rang out into the parking lot. Not that a right-handed would have made much difference with your technique.
Very funny. Again. So there are many different kinds of boomerangs, and not all will work for everyone. Kind of like a customer loyalty approach would be different from company to company.
Right. Each throw is different. Well, depending on the environment and the wind, you approach each toss uniquely.
Just like we should approach each customer, uniquely, paying attention to them as individuals.
Boomerang showed them the correct grip and some different techniques as they began throwing rangs. Bill, after numerous wayward throws, began shotgunning his attempts.
If I throw enough of these things, I'll get at least one of them to come back.
Maybe you should be throwing a killer stick.
A killer what?
A killer stick. It was an Aborigine weapon. When they'd spot prey, they'd throw the killer stick at it in hopes of subduing it. Now, a boomerang was a toy. It was a perfect toy for the environment. When properly thrown, the boomerang would return to the thrower without getting lost in the grasses and the weeds.
Our approach to company growth has just been like throwing killer sticks. We need to think boomerang.
Yeah, we've just been getting lost in the weeds. We need to rethink our approach to this business.
Bill was inspired. He couldn't wait to start on applying a boomerang approach to his business. Wanting to show his appreciation to Boomerang, he offered,
You've been more helpful than you know. How can we buy boomerangs from you?
Well, you can't right now, mate. I think it'd be best if you worked on your business first. In a few months, I'll return and see if you're ready.
But what if we buy boomerangs elsewhere?
That's what's so great about my job. Not many people have an understanding or a passion for boomerangs. You wait for me.
Just like customer loyalty. If we could figure out how to get our customers to come back to us, we'd have an edge over the competition.
Well, we'll work on our issues first and wait for you to return, but how do we know you will?
You're asking a boomerang man if he'll come back?